most new lifters lift in regular tennis shoes. And I think these put your ankles and throw your support off on your feet, and it really just messes up the entire lift, whether it's squat or deadlift. So you kind of want to invest in a flat shoe. They do have platform shoes and deadlift shoes as far as I know. Like SBD makes them, I think.
Yeah.
I buy Converses because this young man right here found them, and they were really nice. They're flat. They got ankle support on them, and they're cheap. Yeah, they're like $50.
I'll show you something. So when you're squatting this deadlift, squatting or deadlifting in these shoes, all that squish. So, hey, you're picking up 500 pounds, well, your shoe's giving. And it ain't, obviously you can tell, this sumbitch ain't even all across. So it's going to bend more other spots. That can cause ankle problems, and it causes you an imbalanced force coming through your legs.
Plus, your foot flat in a flat shoe is more like this. Of course, you got your arched feet. But on this, you're at an elevation. So you can't see it inside the shoe, but usually the heel is thicker than the front part, as you can see right here. So it's going to put you on a elevation like this, where you're kind of in a hack squat hybrid position, no matter what you're doing. So some people I've seen people deadlift in boots because they're flat and that's all they got. So it's up to you, but I definitely recommend looking into them. Another thing I recommend, whether you're a newbie or not, is a weightlifting belt. Now, a weightlifting belt can brace your core and really help pull in, and I think it just keeps you from exploding through your abdominal wall, your organs and stuff in a way.
That's kind of the extreme of it. If you think about it, what it's doing is you're holding air in your stomach, you're bracing up against it, and so it keeps all your muscles nice and tight and keeps it stable. And this prevents, like you having, if you're not stable, there's more risk to your spine. But if you have this full of air and you're pressing against the belt, you have a protective wall, and it's like a pressure vessel that's keeping you stable, and it's keeping you from getting injured. That's mainly what it does.
It's also keeping your back from getting more rounded at the lower. It keeps your back straight, at least tries to. If you have a belt from Amazon, like a $20 flimsy belt, here, let me show you real quick. I think we got one down here. Might have it still here. Well, it was here. Maybe it got hung up. Let me check. Yeah, it's hung up.
Get that Velcro belt too.
Yeah, let's go with the belts real quick.
Yeah, let's show them what not to get first.
All right. So, for powerlifting, you're probably not gonna want anything that thin. Leather belts are nice. They dig into you a little bit more. They're not as comfortable. After you break them in, they do feel good, but they get looser. I deadlifted and I used a leather belt when I first started out. I really liked it. One of the best ones I ever had. But over time, when I started lifting heavier weight, I needed something thicker to provide me more support. So I wound up getting a powerlifting belt. I'll chunk it if you want, unless you want to talk about it. This was also
That's my first belt.
Yeah, it's his first belt. I also used this a lot when we first started out. These are illegal in powerlifting because of how thick the back is, so it's also something to consider the size. And if you do want to compete in powerlifting, I recommend training on what you're going to be able to compete in. These are good. I like these if you're just a newbie and you're just, I guess, just in the gym lifting and you're not going too crazy with it and you're just average.
Yeah.
I pick up one of these.
Yeah, it's okay. If you're just being an amateur, you can go with that. But I feel like it's always a very weird, once I put it on, it's not, what's the word? It's not gripping me evenly. So like I'm pushing and it's very small on the front, but on the back it's very thick. It's not even. I'm not a big fan of it. I didn't know no better when I was a kid. These don't even get some bullshit like this, man.
This is like the $20 Amazon belt. Absolute dog shit, bro. Like, look how flimsy that shit is. I wouldn't even beat my wife with that.
These, I use this too. Same thing with that other belt. And this is obviously not rigid at all. There's no support in it. And the Velcro, I mean, you're relying on Velcro to hold you hold you together. I wouldn't do that shit at all. What I recommend is a thick belt. When you see that fucking shit, I cannot fucking get my hands on it and go and bend that shit. And this is the perfect width on it. That way,
you can't fucking bend like that other one was. You're not folding it in and making a crease at the top.
Exactly. And this thing is, it's the same width all the way across, and you're pressing against it uniformly. So, it's nice and tight.
You have 2-prong and single prong. It's personal preference. I had a double prong. I fucking loved it. but I think the single prong is easier to get on, so that's also something you need to consider. I think they both provide me good support. I don't think I've had a single prong on a single one.
This one, it's not very adjustable. It's just got holes down it. His is, I really like his. You can just go back and forth, and you can get even tighter, and it adjusts to you better.
This is a Pioneer belt. It's got one every half inch. Most regular SBD belts, and these are not competition level. I don't think I can compete in this. I think there might be a brand of it. I know Pioneer has a competition belt, but I don't think this is the one. However, I think I've had better belts that have supported me better than this belt right here. So you need to look at it and make sure you're comfortable getting what you want. I mean, this does its job. Sometimes I go back to my double prong if I feel like it. It just depends on what's best for you and your biomechanics. Everybody's different. Also, another thing to consider is the thicker they get, when you squat down, you're going to have, see, I got a little bit of pudge right here, so it's going to come over my belt and it's going to pinch me a little bit. That's common with a lot of weightlifting belts. So if you're a beginner and you get a thick belt that's not broke in, it is going to pinch, and you just got to work through it a little bit, and it should soften up after use.
And then you also avoid that by properly adjusting it where you like it at. I like it to have it right on top of my hip bones. I feel like it gives me the best amount of secureness force of it.
Agreed.